Welcome to the AnyVerse podcast, a podcast where the members of the AnyVerse Minecraft series get together and talk about their week in their personal AnyVerse world.
Hi, I'm DarkSolidX from YouTube and Twitch.
And I'm Fizzbolts, also known as Fizz.
I'm PB from PbPlaysMinecraft.
And hello, I'm Torfi from Torfi74 on YouTube.
So guys, this has been quite a week for some of us. So what have you guys been up to?
Food. I've had a great need for food. I am tired of living like a rabbit and eating everything or nothing but carrots. So this week was all about food.
I started my first build of the week of the year, whatever, and also I had to run back 16,000 blocks to the spawn to get all my old belongings and bring it back to my new place.
Well, I didn't do much this episode. All this, I fixed the farm a little bit, and I built a tree farm, and just trying to make plans of what to do next, because I'm still trying to lay out everything in my head.
This week I did a lot, actually. I finally finished my design for the blaze farm I wanted to do. So I did traveling because it involves slime blocks, so I needed terracotta blocks. And instead of, digging that up from rivers, I decided to go out on an adventure to go find some clay or a mesobiome. But Fizz, what did you do? What's the food item you decided to go with? What did you farm?
So I made basically a water slide for cows. I didn't want to just make a regular normal cow cooker kind of deal, so I let them go on a little fun slide before they die, and the process of that will be shown. But it's pretty goofy. It's just you gotta change it up a bit, So they get to go on a little fun ride, and then they burn, and then I eat them, and it's super tasty because it's barbecue pizza. Because all my food is pizza.
So a dinner and a show is what you're saying.
Exactly. A very good show to watch too.
It sounds a little demented. You want to watch them have pleasure before they die? Just something wrong with that.
They get a little bit they're little babies, so I mean they gotta live their best little childhood possible, then they grow up and then they die. So it's not too bad. They're already adults when they die. It could be worse.
Well, I believe that's the best type of farm. That's the one that you actually see how all of the working within a farm, not just one block, 2 block, is actually see the whole motion of the farm working before you get your food.
I agree. There's no better farm than a fun farm. I personally haven't done anything with food. I am still living my best life on fish, mostly because I've had to go farming for ink all week. So while I have this great river running right next to where I am, so I just jump in there, fish for ink sacks, and then at the same time, just kill some salmon that are just flopping around in there also. One day I'll make a farm, but I don't know what I'm gonna make yet.
I'm still living off of potatoes because I'm too lazy to go and harvest cows. I don't want to kill all the ones around my area because I would like to use them eventually.
Well, I'm living on potato myself, even though I have enough wheat and carrot to make bread and stuff. But I was thinking the easiest way to get fish is auto fisher. But then in this season, I decided not to do auto fisher because I believe that gives you a bit of an advantage. So I will prefer not to have that advantage and do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I thought about it too, because I was like, is there a faster way to get fish? I don't have any issue with auto fisher or fishing farms. I don't do them. I'm not a fan of them. I've done it a few times, but after they made some things easier to get in game, I just, wasn't into it anymore. Plus, like, fishing's cool now because you get to jump into the water and chase them and kill them. And so with all of those changes, I've had a change of heart on fishing farms, even if it was to just get fish and not all the other nice things in fishing farms.
I've thought about making a fishing farm just to get the books from it, But then it's like you would want to eat the food unless you had it auto sorted to just ditch all the fish that you catch. But like things like the books, mending books, and the books that are combined, like more enchants would be good. But I'm also tempted to challenge myself just to get all that from villagers. And that may take some time, but having like a huge villager haul of all the possible trades would be pretty awesome to have.
That's actually where I plan on doing. I just found a village in my travels, so they're going to be put to use here. Probably not in the near future, but somewhere out in the distant future will be here.
That's definitely also on my to-do list. Though not necessarily super soon, but I'm sure once I start getting annoyed at the fact that I don't have feather falling or more depth striding than feather falling. I haven't built anything where I die if I fall off, except the mob farm. Granted, that is very high in the sky, but if I die from that, then I deserve to die there because it's so easy to get down. But yeah, I'm also leaning towards doing the villager haul. I haven't done one since villagers got trades, and I'm looking forward to try it out again.
Well, it's always good to have like a villager trading hall because that way it's more challenging to get it, but the reward from it is so much more. And I really did wanted to do autofish for saddles because I wanted horses, but then I figure I'll do that more. Well, I'll do that without the autofisher because it'll be more challenging.
I will say, I have an abundance of saddles that I got from just exploring around spawn. So if you get the same loot drops that I do, which I think maybe we should, but apparently mansions can have missing backs. So, who knows? Because I definitely thought all of your mansions didn't have a back. But it turns out I'm just special.
What? You found saddles? I found a diamond horse armor, but no saddles. It's sad.
Oh, I also have a ton of horse armor. I have so much loot that I don't want, but I can't leave it there. Like, I went on an adventure and my inventory was full because I was going to go do something else in the area. And I got to a bunch of chests and I was just like, I can't, I physically cannot carry all this nice stuff. And I was just like, I'll come back at another time, I guess. I'll come back later and I'll pick up all of this. There's an abundance of riches on our seed near spawn, so I wouldn't be too worried about saddles or iron armor or anything like that.
I think also if you hit a nether fortress or two, you're going to get more than enough saddles out of it. I haven't found any yet, but I haven't really explored that much.
Speaking of nether fortresses, basically what I did this week was the Blaze Farm. And I did this very cool, I'm going to come out and say it. It's a cool Blaze Farm. Well, I think it's a cool one. It's the first time I've ever used flying machines to, A, in general, but B, to do it in a farm. I had a ton of fun, A, trying to figure out how flying machines worked, then finally caving and watching a tutorial on how to make a basic flying machine, and I'm like, oh, this is way easier than I was making it. So I have a three-way system. So I have them fall about 4 or 5 blocks from the spawner. Then I have an arm sweep them to one side or another, and then they fall down from either the left or the right. And from either of those little one by passages, I have another arm of slime blocks push them towards the front, and then I have another set push them towards the middle. So I have three sets of like slime flying machines pushing them to funnel them down to where I can hit them and kill them. Though I kind of want to make it more of just like a crushing farm where I just chill there and they die due to cramming. And I was really excited to do it, but I didn't get to finish it completely. I haven't done the facade and all of that fun stuff, but I was really excited to just get the farm on video because I think it's a fun idea, and it's the first time I'd ever worked with slime blocks in any sort of farm fashion.
It's good that you found your slime blocks. I remember you saying that you were looking for slime everywhere and you couldn't find them. Um, I've never actually seen a flying machine farm, so I'm really interested in how you did that. I know there's like the ones with the gas and everything that I don't know if they gather gas up and stuff, but to have a flying machine farm with blazes, I've only ever seen minecart farms with blazes. So I'm gonna be interested in see how that works.
I actually want to use the flying machine sweeper mechanism when I find a witch hut, so I can get all the good drops that they give you. I haven't seen them yet on any other real farms, though.
Well, I love the idea of making being creative with your farm, because a lot of the like Fizz said, a lot of the Blaze farm uses minecarts while yours uses the slime block. And I'm pretty sure it looks really cool the way it pushes the Blaze into like the certain section that you need them to be. And I really enjoy those type of farms, especially this one farm I saw a while back, and they use a baby zombie, and it's a pumpkin melon farm. And whenever a pumpkin melon spawns, it leaves a path for the baby zombie to run up to the villager. But by the time you get up there and you step on the pressure plate, it crushes the pumpkin, so the pumpkin will fall down, and then he won't have a path. And then every time it spawns, you'll see the little baby run around stepping on the pressure plate for you. And I think those kind of farms are like really cool.
That is a good use of a baby zombie, and I'm tempted to look into this farm because I hate baby zombies, and putting them to good use like that would be pretty good.
Wouldn't that be considered child labor?
Well, they're dead, so I mean, does it matter?
Well, it's Minecraft, so I would say no. I'd say you're fine. I find a lot of joy in killing baby zombies because I think they're awful and need a lot of work. So any opportunity I get to kill a baby zombie, I do. I'm sure somewhere down the line I'll find a way to make a baby zombie farm, and I'll just relish in being able to just kill them.
As a person who's made several zombie like spawner farms, I love just dumping little babies into lava. I don't know. They're kind of pointless otherwise. Also, since we're talking about zombies and spawners and stuff, at the end of this week's video, I found the elusive skeleton spawner. I'm so happy about that. I just wanted to rub it into certain people's faces. I'm sorry.
Wow, rude.
I have my mob farm going, so I just get everything. I have like 5 stacks of gunpowder, so ain't gonna hear me complaining about it.
Oh, you're fine. I mean, I have mine, so. And I made I tried to be creative with it. And I left the whole room dark. And then I left the top part glass so I could see them spawn and go into the gap while I'm up top and do my thing. So, yeah, I have a nice design for it if you like to check it out.
No, I was mainly just putting that out there for the one member who's missing this week.
That's so mean. Poor Ota.
And speaking of that, this week's one was rough. I finally got my episode recorded yesterday, so that's why everything is taking so long. Dealing with sick children and stuff along the way. The flu has been hard in this area.
Oof. I also felt sick. I don't think I was. Well, it could have been the flu, and my immune system just like fought it off, but left me with all the crummy symptoms. But I also didn't feel great this week, or at least the latter half of the week. And luckily, I did most of my recording in the beginning part of the week, so I didn't have too much of an issue getting my footage. Kind of. I did have to dub a little bit because I did sound a little bit dead in some of my clips.
I'm getting used to that last second recording, session, because the last week's recording session also came in last moment. I'm getting good at it.
Well, I would have done a lot more earlier in the week, but then like a lot of things happened. Like my allergies kicked in, and I had interruptions with family, so it was a lot harder for me this week to actually record an episode for you guys.
I've just been tired, but I'm always tired, so that's nothing new.
Oh man, it sometimes, especially I always feel like around the end of June, or sorry, January, the other J month, is always a little bit difficult when it comes to just getting things done that are like fun, Like it's always a very adulty time. It's like a time where you just have to do a bunch of stuff that isn't fun.
I call that a job, usually. I do that, Monday through Friday.
I find it's just like the December stuff is all the end of the year, like a finish thing. And so January, you feel like you have to do more and get a bunch of stuff in order. Like if you didn't plan to do this thing, this is the month to start doing that habit or start changing something. So it just kind of can be overwhelming because you're like all those New Year's resolutions that you end up not even committing to after 2 weeks. But it seems like you're like, this is the time I'm going to do this for me and get ready. And then it just kind of just fizzles out by February and you get back to normal.
Well, I find I find it hard to not have like the exact plan for you to record. It makes it hard to actually record something when you haven't planned it and then you're just kind of winging it. That is one of the harder parts of it. So eventually I'll get enough materials and I'll get enough ideas in my head to decide what I need to do. Then my recording will be a lot better and a lot more fluent. But in the meantime, I'm still kind of stuck to not being certain of what I want to do at the moment.
I identify a lot with that also. Definitely last week's episode, I didn't really have a direction in it. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so it was just a little bit of everything. But I knew that I wanted to get the Blaze farm up, so I started designing that in my off time. And it worked out that I got it finished by this week and I had nothing else really to do. So now that I got that ball rolling, everything else has kind of just started like getting my brain churning, and I have ideas for other things now. And now it's like my slate is full for at least 2 episodes, which hopefully that keeps on coming because it's rough when you don't really have a direction to go in.
I started this week's video with a direction to go into, and then I did a complete 180 and went in the opposite direction. So, I didn't really plan anything either. I started a build that I wanted to finish, but I didn't. So it happens. I mean, I didn't. With me, I usually build in a creative world first, and I just decided to explore a new avenue this time, and it didn't work out as well as I wanted it to, but it still worked out.
I like to have a general idea of like what I want to do in a world that I'm in. And what I do, I don't like write down, oh, I need to do this episode or plan to do this. But if I have like an idea for a build, I'll mark it down. Like I want to make this kind of thing. And then how would I go about doing that? But I don't try to like pre-plan a bunch of stuff. And the stuff about the creative world, sometimes I'll go and build things just to see how it looks because then you don't have to waste the tools and the resources to try and do it in your actual world. Even most recently, I messed around with pistons because I was like, how do pistons work again? I need to figure this out. How can I do this? Because pistons and water and redstone, just water and redstone, is not a good combo to mess around with.
Well, for me, the planning kind of falls more onto a location because I could get a certain idea in my head, but I need a certain location for it to look nice. Because if I just build it anywhere, then it probably won't look as good as it does in my head. Well, if I were to terraform the area to look like the area that I have in my head, that would take too much time on my hand to be able to pull it off. So for me, it's mostly location.
Oh, location kills me sometimes. Especially with farms that can be anywhere. I have such like absolute anxiety and indecision about where to build something. So I'm like, oh, I could do it here, or I could do it over there, or I could do it here. And at the end of the day, I just end up building it nowhere because I simply can't decide what to do or where to do it.
Yeah. See, with me going to where I'm at now, because I tried to use have the community tell me where to go. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and now that I've scouted out my area, I have a plan in mind that I think is going to turn out amazing. So I can't wait to get started on it.
Well, the main area I'm looking for is ocean with mountain, which I found, but then the mountain terrain was kind of funny looking. I'm trying to see if I can find another area similar. If not, then I might have to work with what I have, which is going to be hard.
I tend to have a problem where I look around and try and find a nice place. And then after you start building there, you're journeying off just to journey to go get things or whatever, and you see even better places and you're like, "Oh, I wish I built there." And then you mark it down like, "Oh, maybe I'll put something there. I don't know." But then you never find the time to go back to it, or if you did, you're just like, "This isn't going to be the same if I build here. I already have this place over there." And it's just too many good-looking terrains out there. Not enough time to build in.
Uh, After scouting out those first 2 days around spawn, there are so many places to build. I mean, I look at a spot and I think, okay, I could put that there. And I look at another spot, oh, that would look great over there. I mean, just thinking about the different styles of building that you can do with each different terrain is, I mean, you can get lost forever doing that. So you have to find something that you truly enjoy doing.
There's actually a bit that I found when I was wandering around in the first episode where it looked like a bunch of just cubes. And so I put a sign down by it and I put like cube art installation. And so what I want to do is just make that like all these colorful cubes just in that area, only because the mountains look like tall rectangles. And it was just perfect.
I think that's a very cool idea, and I really hope you end up doing it.
That is the plan. I should start gathering up concrete now and find a mesa. I think there was a mesa nearby. I can't remember if I ran across one or not, but find all those colorful blocks and start planning how that's going to look. Sketch out some stuff maybe.
Speaking of Mesa and about the previous conversation, I definitely had that moment of like, oh man, this is such a great area when I finally ended up going to the Mesa to go pick up a bunch of clay. And I was just like, oh, like I cut it out of the episode, but I was going around and I turn a corner and I see this view and I'm like, oh no, because it's such a beautiful view from the Mesa. And I'm just like, oh man, I kind of wish I lived here now instead of where I am now. But I think I have a plan for what I'm going to do in the Mesa because I think I do want to build there, but not right now. I think it is definitely a long-term, the long con. I think it's going to be a long con before I get there, but I definitely think I am going to end up over there. And I guess that's the beauty of the AnyVerse, right? Like, we can build anywhere and do whatever. Because at the end of the day, Minecraft is just, do whatever you want, wherever you want.
Yeah, I have plans for the future because I did find a location that I really wanted to build in, but I was kind of waiting to see, what my community wanted. But now that I'm where I'm at, I'm kind of, it's just surprising of, the thoughts that go through your head when you come to a new location. Because now I've like completely different direction from where I was going, so I'm really happy.
Well, the thing about AnyVerse is that I mean, of course you could build anywhere and anything, but I tend to enjoy building shops and stuff, and then I realized that it's single player, so I won't have any customers for my shops. So I had to scrap off from my list. But no, I'm like I said, I'm still planning on a lot of the stuff that I am going to do. It's just taking my time, going through what I can do at the moment with what I have.
I have those moments too where I'm not a very big shop builder. I never really have been, but I always have had that. I've always wanted a story with what I'm building. I've always wanted to have a cause and effect. Like, why does this exist here? And sometimes I'll be like I'll build near the edge of a biome and I'll be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if it was like a warring zone? If like there was a thing here and a thing there, or I've always wanted to I always try to make a story with my build so I guess maybe to give myself more inspiration and to give it a little bit more character for myself in the area. With the AnyVerse, I've been wondering how I'm going to incorporate it. And now with that Mesa area, now I'm trying to develop that story in my head now.
So when I found that skeleton spawner, first thing that went through my head was I could set up like turrets for defenses. And like, wait a minute, it's a single player. Stop, scrap, don't do that anymore. So, it's hard to get out of the server mentality.
I wonder if you could set up turrets to kill the skeletons though. Like have a different way of like automatic arrow dispensers kind of deal if it sensed that they were there. I'm not sure. Maybe with tripwires? That'd be a neat way to kill them.
That is possible because in my farm I made a auto detector where whenever a skeleton comes, it pushes them into the stream to shoot them up. So because you can't really run a water line going into a source block, more source of water to shoot them up because when you put the soul sand down, all of the block has to be a source water block. So for them to float up, and I had to create a contraption where it constantly pushed them into the into the tube as they slowly flow into the tunnel.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ways you can kill a bunch of you. There's a lot of cool ways to kill things in the game, and I think that's a very cool concept. Solid. The other thing to keep in mind is that we are going to have village raids in the future, so you can always start thinking of ways to utilize your resources to try and maybe defend from that. Now that we're going to have a real life sort of raid system, but I don't know how well it could work since how they spawn is a little bit wonky, but it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I would like to see that happen, but I don't think skeletons are just going to shoot illagers for no reason. They'd have to be caught in like a crossfire between maybe an skeleton trying to shoot a golem or something. I could see that working. I don't know about them just point blank aiming at another hostile mob for no reason.
Like I said, just things kind of to think about because, we are starting at 1.13, but 1.14 is slowly but surely coming up, so. And they keep just introducing more and more mechanics into the game that we kind of have wanted for a while, and now we get to start thinking about how we can utilize them.
I am waiting for 114. Just the new blocks that they're adding, the new the grindstone, the furnace, all that stuff. It just gives you a reason to build separate buildings for each contraption. I'm looking so forward to that. I can't wait.
Yes, all of that is interesting, but I'm trying not to worry about the new update until it arrives. Then it'll be funner to actually play with it once it arrives. Because if you find out, if you find everything ahead of time, you'll lose the discovery part of the new mechanics and the new mobs and how everything works. So I usually just wait till it comes, then I'll handle it.
See, I'm friends with Ota, and Ota can't wait to save his life or anything, and he will absolutely let me know when something new comes out. So the element of surprise is virtually dead for me.
I'm guessing unless I heard anything from him, I probably wouldn't look into it. Because I know people would do like snapshot videos, and I haven't watched a single one of them. I didn't even know some of the 113 stuff that came out until I was streaming it one day, and people were like, "Hey, did you know this was a thing?" And I'm like, "It is? When did that happen?" And they're like, "In this update." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll go check it out."
I watch every update video. Thank you very much. And then I look at Exuma voids, or I mean, even our friend from STBN, like Sausage, put out some dealing with like the new fire pit. Oh, some of these new mechanics that are coming out, I cannot wait.
Well, I do keep an ear out to like the new stuff, like the panda and the scaffolding stuff. But then just to get a good idea of what's available for me for the next snapshot, it's just I don't go in there and exploit it. I just keep an ear out for what's coming out, and then once it comes out, then I'll discover it as it comes out.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't go into the snapshots to get them, but if anybody tells me about it, then that's where I get all my info from. Besides avoiding videos, whatever people tell me, that's like, okay, cool. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, I don't commit things to memory very much, but I definitely do know what's coming for the most part, just because, people in the community tend to get very excited about things. So if it's a new feature that's coming up, I'll know about it, but. Snapshots are snapshots, and Mojang puts it out to, get like the feel for the community. So mechanics change a lot and a lot of stuff like that. So I keep my ear to the ground, but at the same time, I still forget things exist, sort of like you, Fizz. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, what? When did that happen? Especially with like 1.13. I got so tired of waiting for 1.13 that I was just like, you know what? I'm going to live my life over here. And when you decide to come out 1.13, I'll be there. But for now, I'm just going to be over here. But with that, I think we had a pretty good week in the AnyVerse this week. So,
All right, I'm Solid, also known as DarkSolidX. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch and they're both DarkSolidX.
I'm Fizzbolts, also known as Fizzy. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch under Fizzbolts with an S, and on YouTube under Fizzbolt with no S.
I'm PB from PbPlaysMinecraft, and you can find me on Twitter at PbPlaysMinecraft, no T because they wouldn't let me put it on there, and PbPlaysInside on Twitch.
And I'm Torfi, and you can find me at Torfi74 on YouTube or Fallen Geek 74 on Twitter.
Everyone, thank you for listening in on today's episode of AnyVerse podcast. Please use hashtag AnyVerseMC in your tweet to tweet about the series. And please follow all of these wonderful humans. And we will be back next Wednesday for another recap of our week and the AnyVerse.